that farmers have to face on a daily basis. Our company has worked in precision irrigation for a long time, and we have to provide innovative and effective solutions to farmers working in an unpredictable setting, which is linked to the impact of climate change. Climate change causes problems that did not exist up to some time ago, and problems that cannot be really predicted. In our digital meetings, we'll be covering 3 issues that are topical for farmers. The first one is protected crops and how we can obtain profitable crops in this setting. And then digitalization of agriculture in a scenario of Agriculture 4.0, and then also protection of crops from frost and frost damage. This is increasingly important because of the environmental changes. Our mission has always been the same: allowing farmers to obtain more using less resources. This is what actually drives us as agronomists and irrigation specialists. And with these digital pills, we hope we can find answers to your problems. If you are curious and want to go deeper into this, you know, we've been out there with all our network of sales and technical people, so please contact us to know more. Thank you and enjoy the webinar. Welcome to all. My name is Roberta Foglietta. I'm product manager of Netafilm Italy. My goal is to show you the Netafilm solution for pot irrigation. You can use the chat, which is suitable for any questions. Then we will show you NetBow, which allows high distribution and better distribution of water and nutrients for the pot crops. What will we see at the beginning? We'll try and understand what this new product, NetBow, is and its benefits, why it was developed, and how we intend, what we intend by pot irrigation. And then we will be looking at how pot irrigation is done at the present time, so the solution proposed so far by Netafim, and the new solution, what its advantages are compared to the previous one. As we'll see, there are considerable benefits for the crop and also for the installation. What is NetBow? You see, it is made like this. It's designed for uniformity of pot irrigation. This product allows for more uniformity of the water distribution, and the product characteristics are better. There is greater resistance to occlusion. Why was NetBow developed? In order to meet the needs of the blueberries. Of course, this is not just for blueberries, but we can meet needs for any pot crop. Then we have increasing requests for fertigation and irrigation for pot crops. The market asks for specific solutions for this type of irrigation. Pot irrigation and fertigation implies a certain know-how and unique products. So we have combined the Netafim technology with and our experience of more than 50 years in order to meet these needs. The pot crops require a consistent and constant precise irrigation. Why did we start from blueberries? Well, blueberries are a very tough crop because they are sensitive to stress, the salt level, and the acidity of the soil. Drop irrigation already or drip irrigation allows to release small quantities of water and nutrients to be supplied during the whole day with the ideal microclimate of the root area and optimal pH during the day, then the berries are very sensitive to water lack or water excess. So we have to ensure the right quantity of water. We started with blueberries, but of course the proposed solution is good for any other crops. So for example, for the passion fruit, which is cultivated in similar pots to hydroponic crops. The farmers were very skeptical. They used already drip irrigation, and in their opinion, the roots had already developed, and they were used to the irrigation drip points. After using Ecbo, farmers saw increased production, and therefore the whole system, the whole current system, was converted to the NetBow system. In addition to this, all the production was further developed, and these crops were extended. You see how irrigation was carried out before, drip irrigation, and now the system with NetBow. We'll see how pot irrigation is performed at the moment. We'll look at the critical points. Water distribution takes place with a non-uniform system. There is a problem, a danger, which is the occlusion, and it's not easy to install. And during the presentation, we'll look at each single item, and we'll see how things can be improved. The current solution is with a dripper, and then there are two or four tubes which go into the pot. This is a good method, but we aim at excellence. Of course, using more drip points per pot improves the water distribution inside the surface. Usually, one uses a drip point for each pot in case of small pots, or 2 or 4 drip points. The more drip points you have inside the pot, the more uniform the distribution is. For example, if you use 2, the roots of the crop look for the water very close to the drip points. So apart from having a non-uniform distribution of the roots, the water in the dripper tends to flow to the tip. So in the superficial area, the superficial part of the soil, there will be no water in this space. So the soil will be drier. To avoid this problem, usually it is an attempt is made at increasing the irrigation time so that water rises. Well, to avoid roots getting sick, for example, the blueberries have a very superficial root system, and as a general rule, they can't take the water from a depth, and this is a serious problem for the crop. Furthermore, there is a problem which is linked to the product occlusion. In the drip lines, the drippers are inside the tube, and therefore the velocity of the water makes it possible to have better filtration of the product. Instead, using the drip points, well, they also have a filter inside the product itself, but this is in the final part at the end with lower water velocity, and therefore there's a tendency for dirt to deposit. And also fertilizers that are not uniformly or evenly distributed may create dirty spots and occlusions. So the moment that there is an occlusion, water is supplied to the crop. Furthermore, there is another problem due to installation. Of course, there is more time for the installation of the product, and the drip points are applied manually by a person who has the technical skills to place them correctly. Furthermore, there is increased risk of mispositioning because of movements of pots. So they have to be removed and put back in depending on how you move the pots. And therefore you lose a lot of time. Because of these critical elements, let's consider the new solution, what we are offering the market for pot irrigation. NetBow is a dripping bow with multiple exit points patented by Netafim for pot irrigation. It ensures perfect distribution of water and nutrients inside the pot. What are the main advantages? Well, the water distribution is even, it's uniform, therefore it covers all the area of the roots, so then there is high resistance to occlusion. It's an intuitive, a very simple device to install in the pot. As I said before, water distribution is approved. NetBow is positioned in the superficial portion of the soil, thus ensuring that there are no blind spots in the soil, and the water is supplied from top to bottom, allowing its uniform distribution throughout the surface. From this picture, you can see that in the pot section, water comes from the top to the bottom. Here you can clearly see how the water distribution is with and without NetBow. With NetBow, the color is dark brown, so all the surface is uniformly dampened. Without NetBow, with the drippers and the drip points, you have the top part which is not irrigated, and then the water cone starts from the drip point and extends to the bottom. Uniform water distribution allows the roots to develop uniformly. The roots will distribute in an even way throughout the surface, including the top part. What does NetBow consist of? There is a dripper, a tube, and the arc. Inside this bow, there is a drip line with 8 drippers inside. What you obtain is an improvement because the Typhon dripper is used, and also higher velocity of water. This makes sure that the product is distributed in a more even way. The installation of Ecbo is simple and intuitive. It's easy to fit and saves time in installation. A very important factor is that no room is left to human errors. As we said before, when you position drip points, you require specific knowledge and know-how to position them correctly so that the water is distributed in the most uniform way that is possible. Instead, with NetBow, there are no installation problems. You just put the bow at the center of the pot. It's easy to move, it's easy to put it in a different position, and it's always in the right place. Pot irrigation has to be precise, quick, but repeated several times. To do this, you need CNL drip systems with opening and closing at precise times. NetBow can also use CNL drippers. It can be used with a PCJ, PC self-compensating dripper, or with the Uniram, the drip line. What are the main advantages of NetBow? uniform and optimal water distribution throughout the surface. This allows for uniform growth of the plant and optimal expansion of the root system. Then the risk of plant diseases is reduced. Since the water is distributed in a uniform way, you don't run the risk of giving too much water in certain spots, thus reducing the risk of diseases. It has high resistance to occlusion and it's very simple to install. Therefore, certainly those adopting this solution will make very good investments with benefits that range throughout the productivity of the plants. Thank you very much for being with us. Now we'll see a video.
When you're growing high-value crops, especially on soilless culture, the risks are naturally higher. Even minor unintentional plant stress can have a big effect on the quality and quantity of your yields and profitability. So maintaining uniform growing condition is critical. NetBow is the first real multi-outlet dripper developed exclusively for container irrigation. It has 8 outlets and it is placed on the surface, so it ensures 100% uniform coverage of your substrate from top to bottom with no blind spots. With NetBow, roots develop in every square inch of the container, ensuring your crops reach their full potential. NetBow features Typhoon high clogging resistant drippers to ensure great water distribution with lower risk of clogging. It can be connected to an Netafim CNL hub dripper so you can irrigate large areas uniformly, even with short cycles and pulse irrigation. NetBow is quick and easy to install and remove with little room for human error, making it perfect for any dynamic business where containers are being regularly moved around, resulting in huge labor savings. If you grow high-value crops in containers, using Netafim's NetBow multi-dripper is the right thing to do. You'll get uniform distribution that results in better plant growth and higher yields, and you'll do it fast and easy.